So my main microphone is a Behringer, some old microphone that I bought. This is the Godox. Actually, I am recording it now directly to the file. And this is the AnkerWork M650 wireless microphone. DJI mic with one transceiver and one receiver. Testing, 1, 2, 3. If I had to pick, it's gonna be between these two, only because Rode is because they're basically known for audio for like the longest time. DJI is great because they're known for their drones, so their connectivity is much better, their range is much better. So tomato, but I would say for now, yo, what is up? It's JJ from 845, and in this video, I'll be doing a quick overview as far as a few microphones that I have here on the table. What I wanted to do was just see what's out there as far as quality and feature-wise, only because I've been using the Rode Wireless Go 2 for quite some time. I've also upgraded from the first one, and it's a super decent pack. It's still, for now at least, my go-to recommendation for anyone who's going to get into audio, or at least for video, only because you will need audio. And while you can have a wired microphone like I have right here, this is all powered through Phantom XLR from my camera. But if you needed something, pun intended, on the go, and you want to be a little bit quicker, a wireless lavalier microphone is definitely recommended. Now, of course, when I do talking heads, my primary mic is actually a boom microphone, and I can link the description below as far as what I personally use. It's like a Audix SCH-X1, and a backup to that is a Rode NTG3, and those two are recommended by my friend. Shout out to him, to Ryan Frias, super talented guy in terms of production, sound production, kind of works on big films, so he knows a little thing or two about audio. And but yeah, those are the two microphones that were recommended to me from him when I was starting out to do video, and I've had that for, I kind of want to say, for almost a decade, or at least for 8 years. So I haven't changed those microphones because I feel like when you find something that works, you tend to stick with it. In this case, I just wanted to see how the technology has changed, how has it improved, has it made it any better. But for now, the Rode Wireless Go, which I'm using right now, connected to the iPhone camera that I have over there, works perfectly fine. So let's just get right into it as far as these three other microphones. These are the microphones that I'll be looking over today. As I mentioned, this is the Rode Wireless Go. I have a sticker here because the typical pack comes with two microphones, so I'm currently using one right now. Transmitter, this is the second transmitter, and right now the receiver is on my iPhone a little bit further. But as far as the other ones, I think the most interesting one is the Godox one, and only because I use Godox for my lighting. So this is going to be interesting. When I was on Amazon, I saw that a highly reviewed one that came up, whether it's sponsored post or not, is AnkerWork. And I would say the main competitor with the Rode Wireless Go, because a lot of content creators have this, is the DJI Mic. This one is just a single one. The traditional one includes 2 transceivers. So let's just go ahead and unbox the most, I would say, interesting one is the Godox. And slight spoiler is I've actually opened this already, and I've had my daughter be my test subject. So let's just kind of open it, and I can show what it looks like. This is the case that comes with it. The nice thing about it is it's pretty much the size of a eyeglass case or sunglasses case. So it's also fairly slim, if you can see that right over there, which is quite nice. There's an LED light here to indicate when it's charging, which is also useful. And just going to go ahead and open it right away and show. So you can see here that the light was green, and when you open it, the constant blue, if you can see that, means that they're all connected. Right away, I love the sleekness of it. I love how compact it is. This is the receiver, and it does have a few. So that was pretty tough. I think ideally you probably would not change this very often, but I did want to do it because on the Atomos Cast, or rather the Atomos Ninja, I can add in another audio line, and I wanted to feed these microphones onto here. So that was kind of tough, but again, it's not often that you're going to be switching how you're going to connect your receiver. Typically, it would be a 3.5. They have a few of them right here. So typically, you're not going to be changing how you're connecting this to your main camera, but the two bars here is a TRRS, so that's for mobile, and then the single line, if you can see that, is going to be for regular audio. So I'm going to go and test that out, and right away, if you can, let me put this in the white area. It's kind of hard to see here, but like there's no indication, unfortunately, as far as like what's what. I think obviously they have the lightning. They have the lightning one right over here. So you would put that on your iPhone. What is missing in this setup is no USB-C. So if you're an Android user, unfortunately they don't have that. So it's either going to be lightning port, the TRRS for mobile. So I guess you can just use that for Android as well. And then the single bar, the line here, which is just TRS. So I'm going to go ahead and switch it to that. And there's these metal conductors that you have over here. And I'm going to go ahead and connect that. So there's only one way because of the shape of it. And then there's that little click. So right away, the design is very sleek. It's also just plastic. It kind of almost feels like this thing is 3D printed. But I do like how minimal it is. So if I'm going to compare it to the Rode, right? So much wider. Same, or rather, actually, it's still thinner for the Godox one. But the nice thing with this is actually the transceiver, and this is the receiver. But the receiver for the Rode actually has a screen and gives you sound levels. So you know already that if your sound levels are live, if you're actually getting any audio. And there's really just one button here, which is this guy right here, which is just the on and off button. And it has a little indicator for audio, and the manual, and that's the thing, you unfortunately have to look at the manual. And looking at the case, I actually wish that they had the instructions printed out here. That would have been nice, like a quick start as far as how to connect, and like pairing, for example, doesn't do anything. You press it and nothing happens. And I don't know if that's a faulty unit. The other thing to note, it does have windscreens, which is cool. But this is the unit, and again, it's nice that it's fairly compact, right? So that's the size, the difference. You have one that's almost like a stick of gum, and then you have the pack from Rode, which some creators will just clip onto their shirt, but I just feel like it's very big and it's pretty wide to have on your shirt. It's also heavy. So if you're wearing a light shirt, like for my daughter, it was like sinking. So typically you would want to just attach a lavalier mic, like I'm doing right now for my iPhone recording. So yeah, so this one would go to the shirt. It's very light. I don't have the specs. I don't have a gram scale or ounce scale right now. But let's just go ahead and add this in. It's going to be my first time adding it into the unit. So I'm going to go ahead and see how the audio is. Add this over here. 1, 2, 3. This is the Godox. Actually, I am recording it now directly to the file. So this will be interesting to see what it sounds like. So I'm going to switch real quick to my actual main microphone, which is this one. So my main microphone is a Behringer, some old microphone that I bought, and now I'm going to switch back into the Godox, and I'm holding it where I typically would apply a lavalier mic, especially a clip-on. So here's my test, and testing 1, 2, 3, 4. Godox MoveLink Mini LT. Switching back to my XLR mic. So again, that is the Godox MoveLink Mini LT. What it has going for it are these adapters that includes for lightning, TRRS for mobile, and then the TRS for your regular 3.5 jack. And it has 2 receivers, which is cool. I'm going to go ahead and put up the pricing right now. All these will be linked in the description below if you are interested. But my 2 cents here with the Godox, it's probably great if like you're a true beginner and amateur where you're not really working with clients. And the only reason being is because this indicator light, it's so small that I feel like I wouldn't have confidence of using this on a professional, aka a paid shoot. I think it might be a great backup. So again, ideally you would have like a boom microphone, or you have something that you're using to ensure that you're able to monitor. And that's also another key thing, is you want to be able to monitor your output. How do I know if an audio is really great? So if you can't monitor it, that's kind of tough. So even like visually, so I know, of course, you're going to have this linked up ideally to your camera or whatever, and you're going to have headphones. But even visually, like you won't be able to see, like right now, a blue light for me, I don't know how much battery life I have left. I want to be able to see it at a glance, like, oh, okay, cool, I have roughly 70%, I have roughly 10%, or give me like a red, bar like on Rode Wireless Go that I can see it on the display. So for me, really cool. I really like the form factor, but as far as like the actual features of the hardware, it's hard for me to recommend this. Next one is the AnkerWork M650 wireless microphone. Creativity in every take. Right away, I'm going to say that that's my watch, but right away, I can say that this thing is pretty heavy. Like just the box itself. Like again, I don't have a gram scale with me, but this thing is kind of chunky. But let's go ahead and, yeah, this thing is heavy. I don't know. This is like not what I was expecting. Again, maybe it's just the case. So we got some gold trimming all around. We have USB-C, which is great. We have a charge indicator light. It's a little rubberized on the bottom. Upon opening it, it gives you a battery indicator. If you can see that right here. AnkerWork. I think what's interesting with, and I get it, it's their company and the product, and essentially what they're hoping for is you wear this on your body, right, on your shirt, and you're like advertising for them. So people will know, like, oh, he's using an AnkerWork microphone, or a Rode Wireless Go. So I usually will just get gaff tape and I'll cover it. It's less distraction. Preferably, I actually want to hide the microphone. So I usually just use a lavalier mic, and I'll tape it inside the shirt or inside the jacket. So onto the unit. Let me separate here so you can just see here. There's a clip. Oop, did I turn it on? No. There's a clip. There's a magnet. Oh, okay, it's cool. So that's kind of cool. It's super strong magnet, by the way. Like, it does take some force. You won't be able to slide it, which is nice. But so that's a really nice magnet right away. One magnet. Oh, I see. You can't slide it because it has little grooves here. That's you can see that on the light. That's a smart design. There's some tape here because usually when things are shipped with electronics, they have a protective film. So I'm going to see if it has some charge. Ideally, it does. But let's move on to the unit. So this is the receiver. Fairly chunky, right? This is like almost, this is the Rode. So pretty thick. It does have an audio out. Has USB-C. I see. Is this? I'm sure it has accessories here. I'm looking for the 3.5 millimeter cable, which, cool. I found it right over here. It does include the USB-C and Lightning. So if you were to attach this to your phone, you would have this. I would say right away though, it's pretty big. English, yep. Swipe down to set receiver. Swipe right to set transceiver 1. Swipe TX2. Swipe up to sync 1 and 2. Okay. All right. So let's connect the first one. There's 2 of them in here. There's the power. Press and hold. So there's a little gauge here. So as I'm talking, check 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There's onboard recording, which is nice. Change the dB, the gain. There's storage. So on itself right now, like without doing anything, there's a 452 minutes. It's recording right now. I don't know if I did anything. So let's see what it looks like with 2 microphones connected. So pressing and holding. I like the UI and the UX design right now. That's what it looks like if you're going to attach this to your phone. It's definitely chunky, but at least you don't have any wires. Like currently with a Rode Wireless Go, you have to have Lightning to 3.5, and then you can plug it in. But you have to also mount your wireless Go, which is why I was curious to see how the newer microphones work natively by just attaching it via a Lightning connection. And this is the AnkerWork M650 wireless microphone. If you want to advertise that it's AnkerWork, you can have it on your shirt. But this is the AnkerWork M650 wireless microphone. Switching now to my XLR microphone, testing 1, 2, 3. Testing AnkerWork 1, 2, 3. So now we're gonna go ahead and switch to the last one, only because I kind of saved the best for last, and that's the DJI microphone. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's move on to the DJI Mic. This version has one transceiver only because I wanted it to arrive sooner so I can make this video. So let's go ahead and open this. That's nice. It's kind of like a toiletry bag. Would it be nice if there was some labels, but we'll live with it. What's this? Seems like a cover. Charging cable. I'm looking for this because I'm going to use it for to connect here to the Animos. I believe these are adapters. I'm going to open it real quick. Yep, USB-C and then Lightning, but it has one muff. Here's the unit, DJI. If we're going to compare it to the Rode, this is the receiver. This is the receiver. So for sure, the DJI is much more compact. I like that already. Almost the same thickness. There's no clip. Oh, I see. So maybe that thing that I put in here is the hot shoe adapter. So maybe you would add that here. So that way you can add this and slide it into a hot shoe. The clip for the receiver on the Rode Wireless Go serves as a hot shoe adapter. So that's optional here. That's probably for the charging. There's a screen here, and then USB-C, and then the power button. Receiver has the microphone here, the capsule. You can add the wind muff. It has an audio out, so you can attach a 3.5 lavalier mic. I forgot to mention that for the AnkerWork, cannot do that, but the Godox as well cannot do that. There's no screen on here. There's a record button. There's a link button, and then there's a power button, USB-C, and the little contacts for the charging case. All right, so let's just turn this on right away. Press and hold. DJI logo, English, yep, let's turn that on. It vibrates, that's cool. So the DJI vibrates. The Rode does not do that. I'm assuming when you press record, it's gonna vibrate. But there's an indicator light here that's green. There's my live audio levels. Testing 1, 2. It shows me which pack is connected. I believe when you have two, which I don't, you have two, I imagine this screen will split, or maybe it'll just add another line here for the audio. Let's just get right into it. This cable is quite stiff. I feel like you can just hold this up. It's that thick. I'm gonna hold this against my chest as you normally would for this type of microphone. Now I switch to the DJI mic with one transceiver and one receiver. Testing 1, 2, 3, testing 1, 2, 3. This is also set at 0 dB. I had mentioned I would do a negative, usually 6 or negative 9, just depending on how loud a person talks. Also worth mentioning that none of these devices are 32-bit float. So that's kind of like the current thing right now with a lot of these audio recorders, is that 32-bit float. It's nearly impossible to blow out your audio. So you can talk super loud, like you can shout, and there's that much data that it will not peak. So that's also super nice. Switching over. We're back to the XLR, testing 1, 2, 3. How does this compare to the DJI mic, which I'm moving right now? Testing 1, 2, 3. This is my normal speaking voice. So this is a quick look as far as these 3 different microphones, fourth including the Rode Wireless Go that I'm still using on my iPhone right now. I like the fact that these microphones are getting much smaller. I think what should be on my list as far as a microphone that I would choose is the receiver has to for sure have let's do the basics. A hot shoe mount. So just in case if I'm mounting this directly to my camera, I want to be able to mount that. Battery life, of course, would be great to at least have 10 hours of runtime. I haven't had a shoot that's longer than 10 hours. The direct to lightning or direct to USB-C for the receiver is a great add because again, as I mentioned, the Rode Wireless Go requires you to have the 3.5 cable, but then if you're connecting it to your iPhone, you have to have the lightning to 3.5 millimeter adapter. So it's nice to have it just built directly in there, which these microphones do have. Definitely a must for me to have a screen because visually I want to be able to see how my levels are. Usually when I attach a microphone to Talent, I'm asking them, hey, can you go ahead and speak to me? And I'm just watching the levels to make sure that the regular speaking voice and tone and volume is not going to be peaking. And the onboard recording. So for me, that's definitely important to have for a microphone. The one drawback to DJI's version is that you physically have to press the record button. I want to say, I could be wrong. I'm not going to check it because I'm lazy right now, but I could be wrong that maybe there's a firmware update where you can just set the DJI to record automatically once it's connected, once it's turned on. Like right now, I have it turned on, but it's not recording. You have to press the record button and you can hear it. And now it's actually being lit up. The people who are buying a microphone, they're between usually these two. They're on the fence between these two because of form factor, because of ease of use, because of ability to connect to the iPhone or for your mobile phone, for the ability just to plug this into your computer and you can drag and drop the files, like the WAV files that you record from it, as opposed to using their app that you have to connect to. You could change the settings on the receiver for the DJI. For the Rode, you have to, again, use their desktop app. Being able to change all the features on board of the receiver is definitely a must, or rather at least preferred. So I hope this review has been, or rather an overview of these microphones has been useful. Again, if I had to pick, it's going to be between these two, only because Rode is because they're basically known for audio for like the longest time. DJI is great because they're known for their drones. So their connectivity is much better. Their range is much better. So tomato, but I would say for now,